Welcome, everyone. I am excited to have you join us for today's session on distress tolerance skills for ADHD. Today, we'll explore effective strategies for managing overwhelming emotions and building emotional resilience. Before we dive into our topic, let me introduce to you Easy Does It Counseling, the team behind this psychoeducation and skills training series. We are an online counseling service dedicated to providing specialized care for LGBTQIA+ individuals, neurodiverse communities, and those navigating suicidality. Our team of BIPOC therapists bring a wealth of experience and a unique perspective to our work. At Easy Does It Counseling, we understand that managing emotions with ADHD can be particularly challenging. Our approach is rooted in the understanding that emotional regulation is a skill that can be developed and strengthened over time. We're here to provide you with practical tools and strategies that acknowledge and honor your unique experiences and challenges. Today, we will explore various distress tolerance skills specifically designed with ADHD in mind. We'll look at practical techniques that can help you navigate intense emotions, manage stress more effectively, and build greater emotional resilience. Whether you're struggling with emotional overwhelm, finding it difficult to pause before reacting, or simply wanting to expand your emotional coping toolkit, this session will provide you with concrete strategies you can start using right away. This session is designed to be interactive, even though it is pre-recorded. I encourage you to pause, rewind, or take breaks as needed. This is your learning experience, and it's important that you engage with the material at a pace that feels right for you. Now, let's start by looking at what we'll cover in today's session. This overview will give you a roadmap of our discussion and help you understand what to expect. First, we'll explore what we mean by distress tolerance skills and how they relate to emotional regulation in ADHD. We'll discuss why these skills are particularly important for individuals with ADHD who might struggle with emotional intensity and impulsivity. Next, we'll examine why these skills are crucial for emotional regulation in ADHD. We'll look at how distress tolerance can enhance emotional awareness, reduce impulsive reactions, increase resilience, and promote healthier coping mechanisms. Then we'll dive into specific techniques. This will be the heart of the session, where you'll learn practical skills that you can implement in your daily life. We'll cover grounding techniques, self-soothing strategies, and effective distraction methods. After that, we'll discuss practice tips specifically tailored for those with ADHD. These suggestions will help you incorporate these skills into your routine in a way that works for you. Finally, we'll address potential challenges you might face when implementing these techniques and explore solutions to overcome these obstacles. Throughout this presentation, I encourage you to think about your current relationship with emotional distress. What situations tend to trigger overwhelming emotions for you? How do you typically respond? What strategies have you tried in the past? Again, feel free to write down any questions or thoughts that come up. We'll have time for reflection throughout the session. Remember, the goal of this session is not just to provide information, but to equip you with practical tools that you can use to better manage emotional distress and build greater resilience. Now let's dive into the core of our topic. What exactly are distress tolerance skills? Distress tolerance skills are essential emotional regulation tools that help us navigate through difficult feelings and stressful situations. Think of these skills as your emotional first aid kit. They're the techniques you can turn to when emotions feel overwhelming or when you're facing challenging situations. Now let's break down each component on our slide. First, these are essential emotional regulation tools. For individuals with ADHD, emotional regulation can be particularly challenging due to intense emotional responses, difficulty managing impulses, quick shifts in emotional states, and heightened sensitivity to stress. These tools provide a structured way to handle these challenges. They're like having an instruction manual for managing difficult emotions. Second, they're strategies for managing overwhelming emotions. When emotions feel too intense, these skills help you create space between feeling and reacting. They reduce the intensity of emotional experiences. They stay grounded in the present moment and maintain perspective during difficult times. Third, these are techniques for handling stress. Stress is a natural part of life, but for individuals with ADHD, it can be particularly overwhelming. The stress tolerance skills help by providing concrete steps to take when stressed. They also offer healthy alternatives to unhealthy coping mechanisms, building resilience to future stressors and creating a sense of control in challenging situations. Fourth, they're methods to prevent impulsive reactions. ADHD often comes with challenges in impulse control, particularly during emotional moments. These skills help by creating a pause between trigger and response, offering alternative ways to respond, building awareness of emotional triggers, and developing more thoughtful reactions. Finally, these are skills for improving overall well being. When we have better tools for managing the stress, we experience reduced anxiety about future challenges, greater confidence in handling difficult situations, improved relationships due to better emotional management, and enhanced sense of emotional stability. Now, think about a recent time when you felt emotionally overwhelmed. How did you respond? What strategies did you use? Take a moment to reflect on your current ways of handling the stress. You might want to jot down some notes about situations that typically trigger emotional distress, your current coping strategies, and what works and what doesn't work for you. You can also think about areas where you'd like to develop better skills. It's important to note that the stress tolerance skills are not about eliminating difficult emotions. That's not realistic or even desirable. Instead, these skills help us acknowledge and accept our emotions. They also manage intense feelings more effectively. They also make better choices even when feeling distress. They also help us build confidence in our ability to handle challenging situations. Now consider this analogy. Just as a surfer can't control the waves, but can learn to ride them skillfully, we can't control when difficult emotions arise, but we can develop skills to navigate them more effectively. The beauty of the stress tolerance skills is that they can be learned and strengthened over time. While they might feel awkward or challenging at first, with practice, they become more natural and effective tools in your emotional regulation toolkit. As we move forward in this presentation, we'll explore specific techniques and strategies. In our next slide, we'll explore why these skills are particularly important for individuals with ADHD and how they can specifically help with emotional regulation challenges. But before we move on, take a moment to reflect on how having better distress tolerance skills might impact your daily life. Now let's explore why distress tolerance skills are particularly beneficial for individuals with ADHD. These skills address many of the emotional challenges that often accompany ADHD. First, distress tolerance skills enhance emotional awareness. For individuals with ADHD, emotions can sometimes feel like they come out of nowhere and can be overwhelming. These skills help by teaching you to recognize emotional triggers, helping you identify emotions earlier before they become overwhelming, increasing understanding of your emotional patterns, and building awareness of the connection between thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. For example, you might notice that certain situations consistently trigger strong emotions, allowing you to prepare and respond more effectively. Second, these skills reduce impulse reactions. ADHD often involves challenges with impulse control, particularly during emotional moments. The stress tolerance skills help by creating a pause between feeling and acting, providing alternative responses to strong emotions, teaching ways to slow down automatic reactions, and offering structured ways to respond rather than react. Think of it like having a pause button that you can press when emotions run high, giving you time to choose how to respond. Third, the stress tolerance skills increase resilience. Resilience is your ability to bounce back from difficult situations, and these skills strengthen this capacity by building confidence in handling tough emotions. They also help develop a toolkit of coping strategies. They help create a positive experience for managing the stress and helps foster a sense of emotional competence. It's like building emotional muscles. The more you practice these skills, the stronger your resilience becomes. Finally, these skills promote healthy coping. Many individuals with ADHD might have developed less helpful ways of managing the stress. These skills provide healthy alternatives by offering constructive ways to handle stress. It also teaches proactive rather than reactive responses. It provides structured approaches to emotional challenges and also supports long term emotional well being. Now, I'd like you to take a moment to reflect on your own experience. How do you typically handle emotional distress? What strategies have worked for you in the past? What areas would you like to improve? And how might better distress tolerance skills impact your daily life? You can pause the video here if you need a moment to think about all of these questions and to write down any of your thoughts. Now, let's explore some specific techniques for building distress tolerance. These are practical tools that you can start using right away to manage emotional distress. The first one is grounding techniques. Let's start with the container technique, which is a powerful tool for managing overwhelming emotions. The container technique, step by step, is find a quiet moment and get comfortable. Next, you'll visualize a container that feels safe and secure to you. This could be a box, jar, vault, or any container that resonates. Make it as detailed as you like. Consider its size, color, and material. Imagine placing your overwhelming thoughts and feelings inside. Visualize securing the container, knowing you can return to it later. Picture placing the container somewhere safe. Now let's try this together. I'll guide you through visualizing your container. Again, find a quiet moment and get comfortable. Visualize the container that feels safe and secure to you. It can be a box, jar, vault, or any container that resonates with you. Make it as detailed as you like, considering its size, color, and material. Now pick all of your overwhelming thoughts and feelings and place it inside. Visualize securing the container, knowing that you can return to it later, and then picture placing the container somewhere safe. The second technique is self-soothing techniques. These techniques work by engaging your senses to create comfort and calm. The first one is sight. You can look at calming images or photos. Watch nature scenes. Focus on pleasant visual patterns. such as, and you can also observe clouds or stars. The next one is sound. Listen to favorite music, enjoy nature sounds, use white noise, or follow guided meditation. Next is touch. Hold a soft blanket, use a stress ball, feel different textures, or try temperature changes like a cool cloth. Next is taste. Savor a favorite beverage, enjoy a mindful snack, use strong mints or candles, or candies, sorry, and then practice mindful eating. And lastly, smell. Use essential oils, enjoy favorite scents, smell fresh air, and experience nature's aromas. Third is the distraction techniques. These are healthy ways to redirect your attention during these emotions. The first one is engaging in hobbies. Choose activities that require focus. Select things you genuinely enjoy. Have a list of go-to activities ready and make them easily accessible. The next part of distraction techniques is physical activity. Take a walk, do gentle stretches, practice simple exercises, and move in a way that feels good. Next is mental engagement. You can solve puzzles, read or listen to books, watch engaging shows, learn something new. Now remember, the goal is to have multiple techniques available so you can choose what works best in different situations. Think of it as building your emotional toolkit. Now that we've learned several distress tolerance techniques, let's discuss how to effectively incorporate them into your daily life, especially considering the unique challenges of ADHD. First is start small. The key to successfully implementing distress tolerance skills is to begin with manageable steps. First is choose one technique. Select the skill that feels most accessible to you. Start with something that seems relatively easy. Focus on mastering one technique before adding others. Give yourself time to really learn and integrate each skill. Set realistic practice goals. Begin with short practice sessions, even 1 to 2 minutes. Practice when you're calm first before trying during the stress. Set specific times for practice, like after breakfast, and track your practice in a way that works for you. Next is create a skills toolbox. Having your tools readily available is crucial for success. For this, you can create a physical toolbox. Get an actual box or container. Include items for sensory soothing, such as a stress ball, scented items, etc. Add written reminders of techniques and keep comfort objects readily available. Next is the digital toolbox. Create a notes file with your favorite techniques. Save calming music or videos. Download helpful apps. And keep emergency contact numbers handy. Third on our slide is practice regularly, because consistency helps build these skills into natural responses. Daily practice. Set specific practice times. Link practice to existing routines. Use reminders or alarms. And track your practice sessions. Next is practice environments. Start in calm, quiet spaces. Gradually practice in different settings. Create practice opportunities in daily life. Identify practice-friendly moments. And last on our slide is reflect on experiences. Learning from your practice helps refine your approach. The first thing is keep a simple log. Note which techniques you tried. Record what worked and what didn't. Track any patterns you notice and document modifications that helped. Next is regular review. Weekly check-ins with yourself. Notice improvements over time. Adjust strategies as needed. And celebrate progress no matter how small. Remember, the goal isn't perfection but progress. Take time now to choose your first technique to practice. Plan when and where you'll practice. Decide how you'll track your progress and identify potential obstacles and solutions. Feel free to pause the video here to write down any of your thoughts and to think about this. Now, let's address some common challenges that you might face when developing the stress tolerance skills, along with practical solutions for overcoming them. The first one is feeling overwhelmed, because it's common to feel overwhelmed when trying to learn new emotional regulation skills, especially with ADHD. Signs of overwhelm include feeling anxious about practicing skills, wanting to quit before starting, feeling like it's too much to learn, and doubting your ability to master the skills. Solutions for this is break skills down into smaller steps. Practice when you're already feeling calm. Start with just 1 minute of practice. Use the just for now approach. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. Second is concentration challenges. This includes mind wandering during practice, forgetting steps or techniques, getting distracted easily, and losing interest quickly. Solutions include using written or recorded guides, practice with movement, make techniques more interactive, keep practice sessions short, and use visual reminders or cues. Third is impatience with progress. Building new skills takes time, which can be frustrating. Signs of impatience include wanting immediate results. This also includes getting discouraged easily, comparing yourself to others, and giving up too soon. Solutions for this include setting realistic expectations, track small improvements, celebrate any progress, focus on your personal journey, and remember that all skills take practice. As we near the end of our session, let's take a moment to summarize the key points we've covered today. This recap will help reinforce what you've learned and give you a clear picture of how to move forward with developing your distress tolerance skills. First, we've learned that distress tolerance skills are essential tools for emotional regulation, especially for individuals with ADHD. These skills help you navigate overwhelming emotions, reduce impulsive reactions, build emotional resilience, and develop healthier coping mechanisms. We've explored several key techniques. The first one is grounding techniques, including the container technique for managing overwhelming emotions, ways to connect with the present moment, and methods for creating emotional space. Second is self-soothing techniques, which include engaging all five senses, creating personalized comfort strategies, and building a toolkit of calming resources. Third is distraction techniques. This is a healthy way to redirect attention. It helps engage activities for emotional regulation and is productive alternatives for unhealthy coping. We've discussed practical implementation strategies, starting small with manageable steps, creating both physical and digital toolboxes, practicing regularly in different settings, and reflecting on and learning from experiences. And we've addressed common challenges, such as managing feelings of overwhelm, dealing with concentration difficulties, and maintaining patience with the learning process. Key takeaways for moving forward: choose one technique to start with. Practice when calm before using in distress. Build your skills gradually, track your progress, and be patient with yourself. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate difficult emotions, but to build better ways to manage them. Also, increase your confidence in handling distress. It helps develop more effective responses to challenges and creates a sense of emotional mastery. Now, I'd like you to take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Which techniques resonate most with you? How will you begin implementing these skills? What support do you need to succeed? And how will you track your progress? Feel free to pause the video here. Now, as we conclude our session on distress tolerance skills for ADHD, I want to express my appreciation for your engagement with this material. Learning to manage emotional distress is a journey, and you've taken an important step by exploring these skills and strategies. The techniques we've discussed today are tools for your emotional wellness toolkit. Remember that at Easy Does It Counseling, we understand that managing emotions with ADHD presents unique challenges. That's why we are here to support you every step of the way. If you find yourself wanting additional support as you develop these skills, our team of therapists are here to help you. We offer individual counseling sessions, ongoing support for emotional regulation, and ADHD-specific strategies and guidance. You can reach out to us at info@easydoesitcounseling to schedule a consultation, learn more about our services, ask questions about the techniques we've discussed, and to connect with a therapist who specializes in ADHD and emotional regulation. Now remember these important points as you move forward. Start small. Choose one technique to practice. Build gradually and celebrate small victories. Next is be patient. Learning takes time. Progress isn't linear, and every attempt at practice counts. Third is stay connected. Reach out for support when needed. Share your experiences and don't handle challenges alone. And last, keep learning. Continue exploring what works for you. Adjust techniques as needed and trust your experience. Before we end, I want to emphasize that developing distress tolerance skills is a process, not a destination. Every moment of practice, every attempt to use these skills is valuable, even if it doesn't feel successful at first. Thank you again for your participation in today's session. Remember that you have the strength and capacity to develop these skills, and we're here to support you along the way. Take care and keep practicing. Every moment is truly an opportunity to strengthen your emotional resilience.